Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only CC dog, right? Courage the dog. Now, look, I'm super excited to be talking about this coin because there have been rumors with this coin surrounding, Shiba, right? Rumors with Shiba and this coin, some type of potential collaboration or even a couple of reposts have been surfacing. And look, we can already see something has happened, right? You can see on Bitconomy, you can trade Ccdog and Sheep, right? They will list Courage the Dog and open the Ccdog slash Sheep trading pair at 12 on July 28th, 2025 UTC. Now, this is just the start, okay? This is just the start with the potential Shiba collaboration. And I'm sure when this does happen, we will get some recognition from Shiba Inu themselves. We can see Shiba Inu is at 830,000 followers, and at least a retweet or some kind of post is extremely likely. And you know what? There may be more to it too. There may be more to it too. So I would not be surprised if this does happen. And look, this is huge, right? We know every time they post, they get lots and lots of views. And something like this would really be beneficial for a very small coin like ours, right? We can see, ladies and gentlemen, when we started to talk about this coin, it was roughly around 1.1 million market cap, and now it's almost at 2 million. So if you did, let's just say, take the advice or, did some research and like, yeah, I like what this guy's saying, and you got in, you would have been up 61% in just a 2 week span. And this is just the start. I really do believe this is just the start because when we go back to Courage the Dog, we can see we are getting more views, we're getting more traction, right? The potential Shiba Inu collaboration is on the way. But also, ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize there are going to be more exchange listings very, very soon, right? An exchange listing with XD and Mexi is still on the way and is still expected. So I expect a lot of volume for this coin. I really, really do. And I really do think it is going to happen. Right? You got to remember these things, they take time. You know, there's a lot of stuff in the background. I personally don't know exactly what it takes, but I do know, it at least takes a couple of weeks. So look, man, it just makes sense logically. We know the market's going to be in a bull run. We know altcoins and meme coins are going to see a huge drastic rise over the next few weeks, few short months. And we can see Matt Fury has been a meta. We know Jerry a few weeks ago hit 20 something million market cap, right? It did. And this is a Matt Fury project. So think about it, right? Think about it. There's a high likelihood that there is going to be some type of huge pump to 10, 15, or 25 million market cap. And even if we just went based off the Fibonacci tool, going from the high of 3.3 million market cap to these lows over here, 1.6, which is always underwhelming, is around 5 million market cap. So even if the worst case scenario happened, you would still be looking at a 2.5 times return. Now, 2.6 zone is always extremely likely with a very, very high probability, very high realistic, right? Probability. So look, 7.5 million market cap. It's still fantastic, right? If we took it pretty much from the price we're at right now, boom, yeah, you would make 3.77 times your money. Now, the 3.6 is also a very likely area with pretty high realism, right? You also have to remember context matters, right? Going from something like, let's say, a little bit under 2 million market cap to 10 million market cap does not require the most amount of money. It does not require the biggest of updates. So for me, right, you have to add this context. So for me, 10 million is on the board, and that is the bare minimum that I'm going to be looking for when this expansion does happen. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, even if you were in the private community, right? If you were in the private community, this is going to be a 10x call at the minimum. And I do believe it will do even better. Now, of course, I have to see how everything plays out in the moment to know when the next leg is going to fully exhaust, right? Because that's how technical analysis works. But in terms of pure price predictions, I truly do believe that we are going to do at least upwards of a 7, 8x on the high realistic probability in a short amount of time, right? Long term, even more. But in terms of the next leg, I do believe we should be looking at roughly at least a 7x. Now, some people wanted me to talk about bubble maps, right? Look, guys, we talked about this in the first one. Everything is fine, right? Everything is fine. Tokenomics are fine. There are no wallets. You cannot hide. You cannot manipulate the markets. This is why crypto is amazing. You can see where everything is getting transferred to, and everything is legit. Everything is fine. And we've seen other Matt Fury projects as well do very, very good. Now, look, in terms of technical analysis, let's dive into it because we saw a huge leg to the upside, right? Let's just say, it started to recover back in late April, peaked in the, like, let's say June 1st, right? Ever since June 1st up until July 1st, it was just selling off, which is fine because it needs to go down. It needs to recover. It needs to set up for a new leg. And we can see, boom, right? When we take something like this, more or less, we can see, ladies and gentlemen, that we were in this type of channel, right? Boom, we were here. Then we broke to the upside. We were retesting for a couple of days before making a higher high. Now, we did have a mini scare at one point from the 18th to roughly the 19th, but that was simply just a retest, right? That was simply just a retest off of this critical zone. And we can see, right? We went up, boom, we tapped again. And what happened just a day or two later, where we shot up, right? We went from 1.1 million market cap to almost 2 million within a matter of 24 hours or so. So this is why you have to be paying attention to markets. You have to be looking at how things close. And we can see, right, even when we move the drawings, right, boom, right away, what I see a huge support zone, and I see a reverse head and shoulders right over here, which is one of the strongest confirmations you can have in the markets, right? We have a shoulder, shoulder, and a head. Okay, so it looks very, very good, very, very fantastic. But also we have a low over here. We have a higher low, higher low, higher low in terms of candle closes. And we can see we broke out of this zone over here in particular. Boom, look at that. We broke out of it. And I expect momentum to be going up upwards of 2.16 million market cap before we maybe slow down. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the huge, huge, huge rally is going to be when we start expanding, right? That is when coins really just blow up within a matter of few short days. But overall, I still expect very, very heavy momentum generally in over the next couple of days, over the next few short weeks, right? Bouncing off this area, having a little sell-off, boom, something like this, something like this. And then once we start exploding, oh, we are going to explode heavily. And we can see we experienced something similar back here, right? Experienced something similar back here. We were just fundamentally going up and down, right? We have this down, we have this up, down staircase. And once we kind of exploded, we exploded up to 1.8 million. Then we quickly had a retest back of 1 million. And we're like, oh, hell no, this coin is way too good. And it went from roughly 900K market cap again to 3.25 million. So I expect something similar to happen, right? I expect something similar to happen. And we can see, right, once momentum broke out, this thing just went flying and flying and flying. That's what I expect with this beautiful coin. And we can actually see big purchase just happen, right? 900, almost $1,000. And we were at what? 1.92 million market cap. And we almost jumped, well, we just jumped a good amount in 1 minute, right? In 1 minute with $1,000 purchase, we jumped almost 3%. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take the most amount of money to jump a good amount. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think of this coin. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.